Hi, this is Coding Class with MasterHun, and today I'm going to introduce you to HTML and CSS. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and without HTML we would not have the internet, the web. I'm sorry, we would have. You can have the internet without HTML, but you can't have web and websites without HTML. So that's important. That's an important technology, HTML. So what is HTML? Like I said, it stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and we're inside the HTML tutorial inside SoloLearn. It's available. I'm not being sponsored. This is not a sponsored ad. SoloLearn is available as a web app, as an Android app, and also as a iPhone app. So widely, and does require registration, but you do not have to pay to do the tutorials. Although I myself am now a premium member. Okay, so what is HTML? Again, like I said, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. What does that really mean? It's okay. Doesn't really important. What it actually means, not that important right now. But basically, without HTML, we would not have the web and websites. So, another thing is HTML, again, stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is not coding. It is a markup language. Okay? Let's get that clear. If you're learning HTML, you're not learning how to code. You're learning how to make a web page, the basics of a web page. You're learning a markup language. Okay? It says right here, right? Unlike a scripting or programming language that uses scripts to perform functions, a markup language uses tags to identify content. Okay? Here's an example of an HTML tag. Okay? Right? This P inside this less than and greater than symbols, right? And then we have a beginning tag, a starting tag, and an end tag, right? That actually tells your web browser that this is a paragraph and it needs to be formatted and shown on the web page as a paragraph. And if we go to the SoloLearn's code playground, we will see that. So we have the HTML markup language, right? The paragraph tag here, right? With the text, with the content, right? I'm a paragraph. And if we run, and then we'll see here, not much of a difference, right? I'm a paragraph here. There's not much of a difference. Okay. Okay. What does we got our first question here. What does a markup language use to identify content? What does a markup language use to identify content? What does a markup language use to identify content? Is it functions? Is it commands? Is it tags, or is it scripts? Which one of these four things? What does a markup language use to identify content? Okay. Oh, so this is important. What is HTML? So basically, when your web browser needs to have HTML, if you kind of think about it, right, it says it right here. HTML is synonymous with the structure of a web page. CSS, cascading style sheets, is synonymous with the presentation, or it makes the web page look pretty. JavaScript, now JavaScript is actually a coding language. JavaScript actually allows the web page to actually do things, actions. The analogy I use is a house analogy. So think of HTML, CSS, and Java. Imagine that these are the three things. You can take a house and categorize and divide the house into these three things, three categories. HTML is the structure of the house, the walls, the doors, the windows, the roof, the basement, the rooms, okay, the closet. So HTML, you build the structure of the house. Now CSS would be the paint, the wallpaper, the molding, okay, the parts of the house that makes the house look pretty. Okay, the outside and the inside, right? The outside and inside, the paint, the wallpaper, the molding, fixtures. Okay, CSS makes the house look pretty. Now JavaScript would be the parts of the house that actually do things, like the refrigerator, the AC, the heater, the water heater, the garage door, the alarm system, the internet connected, the security system, the cameras. Okay, so any part of the house that actually does something, the refrigerator, the gas range, the AC, anything in the house that does something. So you need to think of JavaScript as the part of the house that actually does actions, does things. Okay, again, think of HTML as creating the structure of the house, the form of the house. CSS makes the house look pretty, and JavaScript allows the house to come alive, to actually do things. Okay, so that's important. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So that would basically be the tech stack for the front end. So a front end developer, a front end web developer would be expected to be competent, to have competent HTML, CSS, and JavaScript skills, so they can make the changes accordingly, create, design, and maintain and fix the front end, the part of the web page, the website that you see and interact with in your web browser. Okay. And then where do we begin? Of course, we begin with HTML, right? So we need to start with HTML. What does it say? Right, I said like the web, the structure of web, right? Is structure web pages actually is HTML. Okay, what does it say? The ability to code using HTML is essential for any web professional. Acquiring this skill should be the starting point for anyone who wants to create content for the web or create a web page or a website. Okay. Yes, HTML is easy to learn. There is a lot of content. There are a lot of parts in HTML you do learn. It is not, but it is easy to learn. It's not hard to learn. HTML itself and HTML5, there's a lot of content. There's a lot of material for you to digest. Okay. Oh, here we now come up to our second question here. Rearrange the code to surround the text I am learning HTML on SoloLearn with opening and closing P for paragraph tags. Okay, so these are the 4 components, 4 bits of code. How do we arrange this so that we have a proper markup language statement? How do we do that? Okay, let's go. Okay. Right, HTML is all about tags, right? It's all built on tags. Okay, so we want to create a web page, want to create a website. So what do? How do we start? we start with the HTML tag. Okay, so again we have a start and an end tag, right? We have a start and end tag. Okay, it says right here, everything in HTML in an HTML document or web page is surrounded by the HTML tag. Okay. Although various versions have been released over the years, HTML basics remain the same. Yeah, they remain the same. The structure of an HTML document has been compared with that of a sandwich. Okay, whoa, that's making me hungry. As a sandwich has two slices of bread, the HTML document has opening and closing HTML tags. Okay? These tags, like the bread and sandwich, surround everything else. Okay? Right? We begin with the HTML tags. Okay. Fill in the blank to create an opening HTML tag. So we have this blank here. What do we type in here to create an opening HTML tag? Do you know? Okay. So we begin with the HTML tag. We have an opening and closing HTML tag, or as I called it, a start and the end tag, right? Okay. Now, what do you put inside these? What's the first thing you put inside this HTML tag? These HTML tags. Okay. Still haven't got to any content, right? There's no content, no sound, no videos, no text yet, right? We're still creating the structure of the house. We're still creating the structure of the house. Okay. Immediately following the opening HTML tag, you'll find the head of the document, which is identified by opening and closing head tags. The head of an HTML file contains all the non-visual elements that can make the page work. Okay, so we start with the HTML tags, and inside the HTML tag, we're going to have head tags. Okay, and then in between these head tags, we're going to contain all the non-visual elements that make this page work. Okay, we have another HTML question here. Drag and drop from the options below to create a valid HTML document. Okay, so what do we need here? We need to fill this blank. This is an opening tag, right? Oh, now we have a closing tag. What do we need to type into this closing tag to make a proper HTML document? The body tag. Okay, so we have the HTML tag, we have the head tag, and now we have the body tag. Okay, so inside the HTML tags, we have a head and a body. The body tag follows the head tag. All visual structural elements are contained within the body tag. We have still no content. No content yet. Just still have we're still building the walls of the house. Headings, paragraphs, lists, quotes, images, and links are just a few of the elements that can be contained within the body tag. Okay, so we have this basic HTML structure here. Very basic. Okay, very basic. Still no content. Still no content. Okay. The body tag defines the main content of the HTML document. Okay. Let's go to the code playground, and we see this. We see that this is here. Now, what happens if we run? Right? Do we see anything? Nope. Still nothing. Still nothing, because this just creates a structure, but there still has no content. Where's the content, right? Where is the content? Still don't have any content yet. Okay. We have another HTML question. Rearrange the code to create a basic HTML document structure. Rearrange the code to create a basic HTML document structure. So say HTML 3 times, right? So how do we rearrange these tags so that we have a proper HTML document? Sadly, still no content here. Still no content. Okay. Okay. The HTML file. The HTML, yes, this is very important. The HTML files are all, they're just text files. They're nothing special, very plain text files, but without them, we would not have web pages and websites that we know today. Okay. HTML are text files, so you can use any text editor. Right. You don't need any special software to make web pages. You can start off with a very basic, the free text editor that comes with your Macintosh or your Windows laptop or Linux, if you have Linux. Okay, you don't need anything special to get started here. There are some very nice HTML editors available. You can choose the one that works for you. For now, let's write our examples in Notepad. Okay. So all you need is very basic text editor. You don't need anything special. Now with SoloLearn, you do get the code playground. It comes with a built-in code playground where you can practice HTML, CS, and JavaScript, and you could share your code, your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript projects. So that's also an option here, right? It says it right here. You can run, save, and share your HTML codes on our code playground without installing any additional software, right? Yeah. Yep. I have 10 years of IT experience, and I know I caution you. I definitely do not. I definitely avoid telling people to install anything on their Macs or PCs, because if it blows up, I don't want to be held responsible. Okay, so that's what's so great, right? And SoloLearn is not the only place where you can practice HTML, CSS, and JavaScript online. It's not the only one. There's several options where you can run, save, and share HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So, but I'm just saying this SoloLearn, I think, is a great option to do so. Okay. What type of editor is used to edit HTML code? What type of editor is used to edit HTML code? Do you know? Do you remember? Okay, the HTML file. Okay, finally we're gonna see a web page which actually has content. The HTML file. Add the basic HTML structure to the text editor with this text. This is a line of text. Whoa, very original. This is a line of text in the body section. Okay, do you see that here in this body section? Okay. Okay. In our example, the file is saved as first.html. Right. Most web pages will have the file extension .html. Also, potentially, they might just have the file extension .htm. When the file is opened, the following result is displayed in the web browser. This is a line of text. Well, awesome. Okay, and it says here what I just told you. Don't forget to save the file. HTML files should end in either .html or .htm. Okay, and we can go to the code playground, and we have, right, this is our HTML tags here. This is our HTML document, not much going on. We have the HTML tags, we have the head tag, there's nothing in between them. We have a body tag. Finally, we have some content. Okay, but all it is basically just some text that says this is a line of text. Awesome, right? And in the output in the web browser, this is what you would see. This is a line of text. Awesome, right? Something's happening, right? Okay. Okay, it's been long enough. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care.